Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER 1 News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER 1 News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER 1 News. I'm Cody Johnson with news from around the Columbia Basin for Tuesday, November 27th. Tonight we learn about Grant County's $600,000 tab for defending convicted murderer David Nichols. And we meet Grant County PUD's newest commissioner. We'll bring you a preview of Friday's parade and street party in downtown Moses Lake, and take a look at the Dreamers going for the record-breaking Powerball jackpot. In sports, we'll run down highlights from Monday Night Football and Washington State high school football playoffs. Our spotlight story tonight takes us to England, where a team of scientists may have cracked the genetic code on a problem facing hospital patients around the world. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center. Our top story: Grant County has amassed more than $600,000 in costs for defending now convicted murderer David Nichols. According to the Columbia Basin Herald, the price of defending Nichols equates to nearly a quarter of the public's defense $2.8 million budget. Nichols was at first assigned a public defender, but a family member opted to replace them with lawyers Jackie Walsh and Mark Larenga. The county started paying for the Seattle attorneys after the family member said they could no longer afford the expense. In September, a Grant County Superior Court jury convicted Nichols of first-degree murder of Ephrata resident Sage Monroe. Attorneys for the 31-year-old Helena, Montana man have since called for a new trial, claiming they have fresh evidence proving another person shot Monroe. The motion is scheduled to be heard December 17th, the same day as Nichols' sentencing. County commissioners are meanwhile submitting an application to the State Office of Public Defense for reimbursement of part of the cost of the defense. Grant County residents should ready their earmuffs and mittens for Friday's Agricultural Appreciation Parade and street party in downtown Moses Lake. The 18th annual nighttime holiday parade pays tribute to the area's agricultural heritage, with illuminated farm equipment, floats, and horseback riders making their way down 3rd Avenue, beginning at 7 p.m. Prior to the parade, dozens of local organizations will participate in a street party beginning at 5 p.m. in Sinkayayus Square. Entertainment includes demonstrations by Zumba dancers and the Rock and Bee Cloggers. Laketown Landing merchants will also be open late for holiday shoppers. Grant County PUD commissioners swore in a new member yesterday to oversee the southwest portion of the county. Here with the story is Ryan Lancaster.
Grant PUD commissioners yesterday oversaw the swearing in of new District 3 Commissioner Larry Scatman in Ephrata. He'll serve the remainder of Commissioner Randy Allred's term, which expires in December of 2014. Allred resigned due to ongoing health issues. Commission President Tom Flynn said Scatman was the right choice to represent the southwestern portion of Grant County.
I think he'll bring a lot of down-to-earth expertise and knowledge about the area, and also about important things that affect the utility.
Scatman is a farmer in Quincy, where he's lived for more than 40 years. Superior Court Judge Evan Spurline swore him into membership on the 5-member board.
That I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Washington. Of the United States and the state of Washington.
Commissioners haven't had to appoint a candidate under these circumstances in more than a decade.
I feel that with my business experience that I've had in agriculture over the last 30+ years, that I can bring some common sense and approach to the table and just ask questions that maybe need to be asked, and ultimately represent all the ratepayers that I have in our district.
Scatman said along with agricultural interests, he looks forward to working on behalf of food processors and data centers.
They're all a big part of Grant County PUD, and I want to make sure that they're represented also.
For more information on the commission, visit gcpud.org. For iFIBER 1 News, this is Ryan Lancaster reporting.
A Moses Lake taxi driver says he was robbed at knife point by passengers in the Larsing housing area Monday night. Deputies responded to the 1300 block of Shaw Street Northeast at about 6:30 p.m., where the 63-year-old man says he arrived to pick up a fare. The victim told deputies a large black male and a thin Hispanic male got into his vehicle and physically assaulted him by grabbing him around the neck and holding a knife to the side of his head. The suspects reportedly demanded the victim's wallet, which he handed over before they exited the vehicle and took off running between the nearby houses. Sheriff's officials say the victim was not injured but was shaken up in the ordeal. Anyone who may have information is asked to contact the Grant County Sheriff's Office at 509-750-2011, extension 468. The State Department of Corrections is looking for more people with arrest warrants. Each of the people you see here have warrants for their arrest and are wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of the individuals, the DOC asks that you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. We'll be right back with the latest from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center after this.